Bill Buxton. Let's be modest, shall we? The skill set does suit the team, actually. Williams, they have to be our target realistically. Yeah, big focus on aero. Power unit ERS or yeah, more aero.
Overtaking is a key part of this sport. How have you ensured that your car can take advantage of each opportunity that comes your way?
We want a light car.
And finally, which of your new departments are you most proud of?
Chassis. I don't care about being down on power, I really don't, because there's a few power circuits in the season, but generally I don't think it's going to cause us too much hassle. That logo's annoying me now because I rushed it. I'm going to come back and fix it at some point. Let's see now in the pits if everyone's wearing the wrong colours. And we'll do some drinking and driving.
You know exactly what the team's been working on. When you've got time, check the R&D tree to see our current progress and where we think there's room for more. And while you're at it,
Okay, so
around HQ and check on how the team's doing. It's important to use the time between races to the fullest extent, and that's where these activities come in. Manage everyone's time as efficiently as possible to maximize the team's performance. This is where you can view our current facilities and the effects they're having on the business.
okay, I'm just trying to shut Carl up at this point.
Our cash into upgrades for these facilities.
So, what we have is obviously overview, and this contains a calendar very similar to what you see in the FIFA games, where you sort of jog time along and different events happen. These are the things that you can be doing with this time, and then the usual emails that you get in these Codemasters games. Here you can invest in your facilities, and there's a cost in terms of resource points that you earn from practice, as well as actual cash. Then there's the same R&D. We've actually got a better car than Haas and Williams, which the other people I saw play this game didn't. So we've answered some questions better than they have, which is good. Obviously, this is the same vehicle control screen as you've seen before. Then we have contracts in the driver market and driver perks.
Here, we can spend any extra money that you secured on perks. Each of these perks benefit both you and your current team. They stay with you, so they'll make you a more attractive prospect in future negotiations.
And
This is the driver market. From here,
this is where we can sign new drivers at some point.
Compare them with each other and add them to your watch list. When the contract negotiation window
Oh, Louis Delatraz, Simon, you'll be happy.
drivers you wish to hire.
Tatiana Calderon, Mick Schumacher, Antoine Hubert, Nobuharu Matsushita. Oh, Simon, you're going to be spoiled for choice here, mate. Interesting. Oh, there's Giuliano Lacey. I'm coming for you, Giuliano. Also, you've got the finances, which obviously we have to pay close attention to. We spent most of our money already. And then customization. And what I'm going to do is very quickly fix up the team wear. I'm keeping my helmet because I'm allowed to. but that orange is wrong, so how about we fix that? The corporate colours really don't work with my helmet, do they? So we want a darker, really want a more metallic orange, but I will take that for now. And then race suit. Oh, I can't change the colour scheme on that. The Codemasters, that's really annoying. It's super annoying. So it'll have to be this one. And then we want to change the gloves. Okay, I think that's passable. I'm gonna have to compromise on the helmet. I hate that I have to, but I kind of feel like I need to. Right, why don't we make that black, and then yeah, we'll put the orange here. That looks a bit better. It's the wrong orange again, but I just want to get out on track now, to be honest. Let's open Podium Pass. Oh, Podium Pass is not open yet. Okay, that's how you unlock stuff. Okay, let's then driver training camp. Pre-season merchandise sale brings in $500,000. Aero and chassis focus. Power and durability focus for 7 days. Whew. Well, see, I like that they make this difficult. We're gonna do driver training camp. Actually, no, we should do something that takes 7 days because I can't move the car reveal. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's do more aero and chassis focus. How about that? And then afterwards we will do driver training camp. Okay. In terms of facilities, let's invest in. No, we don't have enough funds. Okay. Oh, I like this. I like this very much. Yeah, okay, we can't invest in anything just yet, but that's all right. I can live with that. Okay. Okay, let's advance, shall we? Car reveal. Like it. Let's camera out a bit. Yeah, so apologies for the issues with Twitch so far. That means this will probably be the one that gets uploaded to YouTube, which means you've missed all the intro. But don't worry, you didn't miss anything fun, and the action's about to kick off. Tire allocation. Yeah, let's keep it balanced. Let's go to our very first race weekend. I won't do much in practice because obviously that's not why anyone's here, and I personally want to see if they fix the race AI because up until last year's game they not put a foot wrong in my opinion, but in last year's game the drivers were just a little too aggressive, and sometimes they would have a tendency to deliberately run you off the road, and it could spoil the whole Grand Prix needlessly. I'm hoping that they fix that and drivers will make a bit more effort to avoid contact, but who knows. Okay, I guess the workstation works the same way. I like what they've done with the UI. We've brought no upgrades to the first race, but that's alright. We're not far off the midfield, to be honest, in terms of the ability of the car, so why don't we immediately dive into practice one, see what we can learn. And it'll be the first time driving our very own car. Oh, that beers are good. Is there any better way to spend a Monday night than playing the new F1 game and drinking an off-brand German lager? I don't think there is. I really don't. Loading times are comparable to the last game, it seems, so between the menus it's quite snappy, but let's listen to Crofty. Hey, George.
Hey boss, this is Jeff. Just wanted to say thanks for trusting me as your race engineer. I won't let you down. The car is ready to go, but it's brand new of course, so there may be a few issues here and there. We'll be keeping a close eye on all the data.
No offence, Jeff, but didn't really have a choice. Yeah, okay. Obviously I don't have any setups. I will do some setup work though. Let's just do a balanced setup for now and we can tweak it. And we'll go out on the hards. So this will be the slowest the car will be, I hope.
Let's get a few laps under our belt.
And I'll just do a few nice and easy laps before I attempt any programs. One of the McLaren's heading out there ahead of us. What is... No, I don't know. Give me back my cockpit view.
Okay, copy that.
Why can't I change my camera? What's going on? This is graphic options, controls. Camera customization. Right, what?
We don't currently have the data for that request.
The engine noises are brilliant, but I do not like that I can't seem to change my... There we go. Why can't I do it from the controller though? That's what's bothering me. It's a very authentic Honda sound on the runoff. Well, obviously the car doesn't handle as badly as arguably it should. But I'm definitely feeling the benefit. Definitely feeling the benefit of whatever it was that we did that gave us extra aero and chassis points, because the car actually doesn't feel too bad in the corners, and a lot of it can be dialed out with setup work, I think. Okay, let's start our first lap time. Is that up ahead? So I'm having to feather the throttle just a little bit, because there's just a tiny bit of understeer, but again I don't think it's anything inherently wrong with the car, because it's very good on the brakes. It brakes a lot earlier than cars did in the last game, so that's thrown me off a little bit. You may notice that I'm stopping a little short sometimes. The thing is as well that even though I have the corner indicators on, often they're wrong, and you have to sort of correct them mentally, because I guess it's by design to make sure no one with these indicators on can be as fast as someone who doesn't have them. But obviously now I'm having to compensate in a different way. Okay, let's try one more time and then we'll come in. Getting the hang of it. I think I might be better at this version than the last one. I mean, it's too early to say, but they all have their own handling models, these games, and sometimes it works in your favour, sometimes it really doesn't. Certainly the back end feels a bit more planted. I'm not as scared as I was about planting the throttle. See how close we are to Carlos now. I don't know, but I'm quite happy with that. There's an overtake button now. And I don't know if green or orange means engaged. But let's try photo mode. And we get a picture of our ride. Let's get it in the middle of the corner. Pretty. Okay, I will box here, and oh, it was K-Mag who was ahead of us. Definitely faster than him, but that car is a heap of crap, as we saw on Saturday. Getting a nice toe off him, which is improving my lap time exactly when I don't want to, so I'm going to ease off. The car feels a little less, well actually a lot less stable when following another car. Nice. So actually, what we've learned there is that answering questions correctly in the interview can make a huge difference to how your car performs, because that actually feels pretty good. It's not going to be a race-winning machine, of course, because it's the first round in the first season, but as a brand new F1 car goes, not bad at all. It has some understeer that I need to deal with in the setup, and it can be a little funky in high-speed corners. It also doesn't like following other cars, but that's true of all cars in the last two games, actually. So I can't really. I mean, I'm going to complain, but I can't complain. Right. It's a bit harsh on its tyres, but okay, whatever.
So, we'd like to run the acclimatization program if you have a chance before qualifying. It'll give us a good indication of our relative pace and consistency.
Okay, it's not letting me take that setup as a base setup, so that's going to make things a bit more difficult. So why don't we just do some practice programs instead? Let's go out for some track acclimatization.
Checks complete.
Which might actually be harder than it looks, simply because the car's a bit funny in some of the corners, and it's fine on a hot lap where I don't have to worry about hitting the gates. I just have to make it to the other side of the corner, but here it's a bit trickier. Still faster than Giovinazzi, and he's on a softer compounded tyre, and I wasn't even pushing all that hard, so a very encouraging start. And I'm sure we'll have a better looking livery as the season goes on and we'll get some more sponsors on board. We're also carrying quite a lot of fuel. The car by default is fueled up with like 11 laps. Most of these cars will actually be running less, and they'll go out, do an out lap, do a hot lap, come in, so they'll be running 3, 4, possibly 5 laps of fuel. So all in all, I'm very encouraged by the pace of this car. Very encouraged indeed. what worries me is that Kimi Raikkonen ahead is going to mess up. He's going to be running in dirty air, so let's ease off a little bit. Oh, and our teammate's coming up behind us. Let's get out of his way. I want to see... Let's do a flashback. I want to see if I can get a picture of us together. Pretty cool. Because also I don't know what race number he gets. It's alright, it's a photo. They won't know how much faster than me he's going at this point. 82. I wonder if they just doubled my number, or if that's... I always turn the saturation up on the default settings as well. Because I think the colours, I mean, less so here in the sun, but they can look a little washed out. Don't want any bloom, just a basic, just a nice basic shot, please. Mwah. Okay. And now let's do some track acclimatization. I'm not going to push the car. Just want to make sure that we hit all the gates and we meet the minimum lap time requirement, which I don't think will be too bad. What I've seen from other people playing this game who got it ahead of time is a lot of them have gone for Honda actually, because they seem to place higher value on...
Distance is on your MFD.
Quiet now, Jeff. They seem to put higher value on drivers. So most, if not all, I've seen have gone for Honda, at least in the first season. But most also have then supplemented that power unit with those early game questions that decide how your team is founded. So what they end up with is sort of a bodged, weak power unit and a car that handles like crap and has no stopping power. I kind of came into this firmly accepting that the car was going to have a power deficit. I knew those corners were going to cause me trouble, but I should still get enough points to... It's a little temperamental sometimes, but given some of the cars I've seen other people produce, I'm actually really happy with it. Okay, that's...
Great stuff. You've pretty much nailed this circuit.
That's a pass.
This is a really strong foundation to build from over the weekend.
I didn't miss the DRS then, it just didn't register. I pressed the button, that's annoying. But I'm coming in anyway because I'm happy with the result we've got. Wow, we're ahead of Norris. I may have to turn the AI up. See, on the previous game I was playing about 100 and I was dropping it to 85 or 90 when I was streaming because I try to avoid sitting in silence for long periods of time, and I don't know why I do that because it doesn't seem to affect anyone else's stream. But yeah, I don't like dead air, and constantly having to think about what you're going to say actually slows you down quite a bit. So to compensate for that, I allow myself to cut the difficulty a little bit. But clearly, I dropped it too much here. what would be a nice touch as well is if they had the power unit logo on teamwear. That would be very nice. I'm guessing our sponsor logo is on there, but it's in white, so we can't see it. Okay.
I know it's tempting to focus entirely on the race, but we should put a bit of time aside to run the qualifying sim program. Try to run it before the end of FP3 if you can.
Let's do a tyre management. I won't keep driving in and out because it's just taking up time, isn't it?
This test is all about tyre management. Try to control the slip through each corner and take extra care putting the power down at the apex.
So basically stay off the curbs. I'm hoping that the investment we made in aero and chassis will help us here, but we've also got to be gentle on the steering. Well, I was a bit too gentle there and now I'm too slow. Yeah, okay, the car's not going to be great on its tyres, I can already tell, because I'm being as gentle as I can while still staying within the time that it's asking me to set. There's no way we're going to get a purple on tyres. And I don't think we're going to find fuel so easy either. Oh no, we're clawing it back now. It just requires very, very, very gentle steering input. That was way too rough, apparently. I had a good sector 2 there and now I'm killing it. But you know, I'll take a green for our first run, please. I'll take it. Let's get these practice programs out of the way and then we can get through to our very first qualifying session. Let's do the boring programs first, eh? Actually, we're going to have to do at least practice 2 because I've just realised we're running out of time. I spent a bit too long enjoying those first laps on the hard tyres.
We're testing fuel management here, so try to lift and coast going into the corners. Don't be too aggressive on the power, but remember, you still have to beat the minimum lap time.
You never bring me good news, Jeff. It's always depressing news. Off the power. Missed my braking point. Oh, I was so busy thinking about giving you a commentary there of what I was doing that I didn't actually do it. Yeah, there you go. That's my first flashback. You didn't see anything, and you didn't. Alright, deal? Deal. Be cool. Yeah, I don't think this engine is going to be particularly fuel friendly. Coasting as much as I can. So we're going to struggle. We're also looking at quite a lot of grid penalties later in the season, I suspect, because the reliability on the first version of this car is not going to be good. I gained some fuel back there, but it just took it off me. the engine noises are so much better. Oh, crap. I'm not doing that lap again. I had it. Okay, distinctly average, but again, for a first Grand Prix, fine. Let's see if we've got time for one more programme before it skips us on. No, we don't. That's fine. We've lost a set of hard and a set of medium tyres because you send back temporarily the two most worn sets.
Who are Hamilton, Vettel and Carlos Sainz. What an incredible practice session. The fun doesn't stop here,
but look at our pace. It's really not bad. It's really not bad. I'm quite impressed with Jordan King as well, putting it P18. Yeah, very, very impressive. Ahead of both the Haas's and both the Williams. I'm wishing now I'd taken a more aggressive goal. So we'll drive straight into P2, bang out the last of the practice programmes, and then we can skip ourselves along for some quality fun times where we can finally drive the car in true anger and see where we actually belong. Let's see. Nice. Okay. Let's go to practice 2. Now, I mean, I'm still glad that I did do the practice sessions manually because someone watching this back may never have played one of these games before, doesn't know how it works. But generally, I skip them. I'm doing them manually now because if you skip them, you get green passes on all the tasks and some extra development points, and that you run now. So laps, sort of race pace laps, and it will figure out how much fuel you're using and how much wear you put on the tyres over those laps as an average, and then it will inform your race engineer regarding your race strategy. So obviously the easier you go on the car here, the longer your stints will be, but you may not have much pace. So honestly, I tend to push fairly hard. I mean, not driving the wheels off it like it's a quali lap, but a good hard run. That way I don't have to worry too much about the car being underfueled or me running far too long on the tyres, and I can always extend the run if I have to by driving a bit more conservatively. Like if in the Grand Prix I've got pace in hand, and really, you know, all I'm trying to do is finish first of all, but finish on track ahead of my teammate and ideally ahead of the Williamses. I don't know if the car on race pace is actually going to be able to keep the Haas's behind us because well, they've got Ferrari power and they should on paper have a better car generally, but in practice at least Jordan and I both managed to beat them, so and you can actually pass this with 3 laps done, but obviously the more you do, the more accurate the data will prove to be, but also the more points you get. So as with anything, you kind of get out what you put in. So I'm going to waffle now while I just drive 5 random laps, and then the ERS is the most boring of the practice programs for me, so that's why I leave it to next to last, and then I reward myself with quali pace. But actually, what I find is, in previous games, quality pace is the one I fail most often. And it tends to start to happen sort of mid-season, particularly if you've been out driving the car, and suddenly the goals become way too aggressive and you fail a lot, or at least I did. It was never enough to get me fired from the team, but I know it has had other players get fired from their teams in career mode. In this instance it's not too bad because I can't change teams because I drive for my own team, but in my career mode, and I will do a career mode, a proper one, failing the practice programs and bad race results and too many crashes and so on, you can be fired. So we'll try and avoid that happening. And tomorrow I'm going to be streaming all day, or most of the day. It will be a mixture of my team and career mode, and maybe a look at the classic cars. Maybe we'll do some online races to see the quality of the lobbies, although at launch the quality is usually not very good.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data.
We will then move on and tackle the FailcastF1 podcast, which will be live a week on Saturday with our first episode of the new season. But Simon and I have talked about doing a mini episode in between where we will dabble in the game together, maybe try out our racing wheels. We both got racing wheels because it's supposed to make you faster. I think it's been proven now that that's not true. I thought that was just me personally, but it turns out that there's quite a lot of YouTube videos out there where people prove that pad is faster than the wheel in this game. It's not in other racing games, but apparently in this one it's the case. We don't want to have wasted our money, so we are going to try and see if we can be competent with racing wheels. George Russell up ahead. Is that the new Williams livery that they said wasn't going to be in the game? Because I cannot see the rocket branding on the side. Let's see if I can catch him. That gives us a goal, doesn't it, and something to talk about, but to me that looks like the new Williams livery. A very sexy new one that I like a lot.
Keep it up.
I know I clipped the corner there being naughty, but I was distracted by trying to see the side of his car. Yeah, that's the new livery. And they said it wouldn't be in on launch. I know the new Mercedes isn't in because I drove past Bottas before and he was still in a silver car instead of a black one. But that definitely looks like the new Williams livery. And that makes my life difficult because I was torn between doing my first season at Williams or at AlphaTauri. I always end up at McLaren in the end, you know that, but I have to hit my favourite teams. Well, George, that brand spanking new livery certainly suits you, sir. And apparently you've got the pace to stay ahead of me.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
I tried braking a bit later there. The car's understeered and I've gone a bit wide, but I was hoping it would get me a bit closer and it just hasn't. But yeah, confirmed. New livery confirmed. Because there is no red on that car. I have to say they turned that round fairly quickly. But I guess the artists have just been putting the finishing touches on the game for a few weeks now. So far, no bugs. Everything looks pretty good. I've had trouble with Twitch, but that's on Twitch, not on Codemasters. yeah, very, very, very pleased. And so far it's putting a smile on my face. I like that they've decided to give us custom podium animations. I think that's actually a bigger deal than people may presume, just because you get sick and tired of the same old podium animations. Bit of a humble brag there about how successful I am. But also, the new mode obviously is them dabbling with what they can do more with sim racing, but it's also because they've got a license to build a new F1 management game, which I think we can all agree we're sorely overdue for. And I do want to try and see how the other cars feel, to see if I'm truly happy, and get a race under my belt as well, because the race AI is a bit of a bugbear of mine from the last game. But so far, I don't think I've enjoyed a game in the series out of the box this much since 2016. Because the 2016 version of the game I just adored immediately. It put a big smile on my face, and that's the one I've put the most hours into, I think. It was also the one where I beat Simon for the first time in the Failcast podcast over a season, and that should tell you that there's maybe a little bit of bias into why I preferred that version of the game. But so far, this is running brilliantly. It looks good. I think the new modes are an excellent addition, and I've not had any technical problems. I mean, multiplayer is usually where you see the majority of these bugs as well, because you get some instability or some quirkiness with the physics. But
if you hit the limiter line too fast, you'll pick up a penalty. Watch the on-screen prompts that show your target speed and distance to the limiter line.
I don't know why I drove an in-lap. Why did I drive an in-lap? It was completely unnecessary. I think I was so busy talking to you. Okay, let's do the qualifying program and the ERS program. Hold on, that only gives me 50 resource points. I'm not wasting my fucking time on that. Okay. First time on soft tyres. Let's do a quali pace run, and then we will dive into qualifying, and we will drive the car in anger, because I've had a long day and I want to go to bed. And I'm going to be streaming all day tomorrow.
This is a quali sim. We've estimated the times our closest rivals will be doing, so that's what we need to beat.
I still don't know how to use the push to overtake button. The game has not explained that to me at all. Previously I would just use ERS and DRS, but I was a bit too strict on the brakes there. I love that it gives you the speed trap information now as well. That's actually quite useful information. And I forgot to check, but I'm hoping theatre mode is back, because that's been very, very, very useful for promoting the podcast, because it records through TV cameras the race that you did, and that means people who've missed the cast or just don't care to listen to a long form podcast can still watch the race as if it was a race, which obviously was done for the benefit of the esports championship, but I'll take it. I lost quite a lot of time in those corners there, because the car does not like fast corners. That's what we've learned. And this is definitely not the fastest lap I could have done. It handles very differently on the soft tyres. I mean, good differently, but it just means that I'm not extracting full pace. But if this is good enough for purple, which it is, then I will return to the garage and we will go on to qualify.
The session has drawn to a close, so let's review our top three. Williams, Hamilton.
Practice doesn't matter, but I did get the fastest time.
The
practice doesn't matter, so ignore it.
Weekend of Formula One.
1:24.716 is actually quite a good time, which I pulled out of my arse. This is like the Failcast stream from Monaco in 2017, where I set myself the goal of qualifying dead last, so I avoided crashing with other cars, and I'd pick up paces as the race went on, and I qualified on pole position because I wasn't paying attention. Okay, Jordan did not earn much resource points, but he has got more acclaim than me, so he's attracting more sponsors. I don't know what you're playing that sound for, Codemasters, because none of these bars are filling up, but whatever. Okay, looks like it's going to drive us straight into qualifying without stopping at the laptop, because what I was going to do was set some development going, and my plan is to not actually develop the car in the first season. That's why I answered the questions the way I did. So we have a car that's not dead on the bottom, and certainly at least for the first season, just invest in facilities, because rule changes are a thing, and there's no point developing a really good car and having all the progress wiped out and not being able to progress as quickly as your rivals. I've got hiccups from my beer. Okay, let's have a look at the R&D tree. So, we have to build the facilities. We don't get. Okay. Well, 40% failure chance. Yeah, no thanks. 36%, 26. Yeah, let's get some early upgrades. We have the best developed Honda power unit. The other two Honda teams are at the bottom. Why do we have a better engine? That makes no sense to me. Yeah, the rest of those updates are a little bit too expensive for me. Although I am going to invest in gearbox durability, I think. Because we actually, no, it'll just be a year of penalties. It's fine. Okay, quality time. Yeah, we're going to do a full qualifying session. I doubt we'll get out of Q2 at best. We may not even get out of Q1. It depends how much the game had the drivers sandbagging in practice. And clearly I need to turn the AI up, but I don't know by how much. So I'm going to see after qualifying, and between quali and race I can adjust the difficulty. Do we get some crofty? Ooh, hello. Serious face. Okay, we get no crofty coverage there. Maybe it's only at the races. I mean, I have seen it in this mode, so I don't know why I'm not getting it. But yeah, we will set an early lap. We will join Alexander Albon. And we'll just go flying lap. And I'm playing with the default setup as well, so I definitely have to turn the difficulty up. Gotta stop hitting that curb. You actually lose quite a lot of time running out onto that green section there, and I do it every time when I'm pushing. Curbs are a lot more forgiving in this version of the game though, which is handy for me because Mika Hakkinen was my hero, and as anyone who taught me to ride curbs all the time, it was watching him, and the last game punished you for that so badly. And I crashed in almost every episode of the FailcastF1 podcast, but it feels like that may not be a problem. Sweep in, sweep out, take the shortest and fastest line through each corner. There's still a bit of weight in the car that I'm not happy with, and it's a bit understeery, but I'm too hot and tired to spend time doing setup work, so I'm just going to feather the throttle and hope that we carry enough pace. 124. .695. That's a little faster than I was in practice. Let's return to the garage and we'll let the track evolve a little bit. Track evolution's been in the game for a few years now. The more cars that pound round, the more rubber gets laid on the racing line and the more grip you have, and thus the faster you go. We'll put on a fresh set of softs, and I tell you what, why don't we jump on board with Nicholas Latifi here to double check. Yes, it is the new livery. I was right. My eyes are not crap. It's a new Renault. Podium sitter Lando Norris. Experienced milk drinker. Inexperienced champagne drinker. Scared of bees. Romain Grosjean. Completely inaccurate, this simulation, because his car still has all four wheels on it. Pierre Gasly is out on track in the AlphaTauri. That's the best looking car this year, I think. Mr. Charles Leclerc, who had an excellent race at the weekend and put his car in a place it had no business being. Esteban Ocon, welcome back. Okay, let's allow time to skip on a bit. And you can see I'm dropping down the order now, but I'm still 12th, which is actually really fucking good. Okay, 5-minute warning, fresh tyres. Currently, Charles Leclerc is your pole sitter from Lewis Hamilton and Danny Rick. And currently Jordan King sitting 18th, good boy. Just behind the Alphas, Kevin Magnussen put in a good lap. Let's see how much faster the car is now. Do you know, I've got the pace as well, that if I think I'm going to get into the top 10, I'm prepared to sacrifice that position and start on some harder tyres, because the pace difference between the tyres doesn't seem to feel as bad as it has historically, and I guess they're trying to make it a bit more realistic, because, you know, as you saw at the weekend, yes, the medium tyre is slower than the soft, but it didn't seem to slow Max Verstappen down any. I'm shutting up now so I can do my best possible lap. I've just set a purple sector 1, so yes, these settings are all skew width. That shouldn't be happening. Just lost all my time that I gained. don't know what I did on that last corner, but it allowed me to get on the power a lot sooner, so I gained quite a bit of time there. And 9th. I will take that. I think we're safe now from being booted out, so I'm not going to stay out and lay down another lap.
Lap is a 1 minute 24.
Yeah, we need to up the difficulty. But oh, Jordan, he dropped. See, I really wanted him to be ahead of both Haas's and Williams, but to be fair, Kevin Magnussen pulled out a hell of a lap. But I did have him sort of around 18th in mind. But 19th is fine. Certainly a better debut than Nicholas Latifi had in real life and here. So, on to Q2. And clearly I don't have the pace to get through on medium tyres. I think that much is obvious. But, oh yeah, it's like a second change slower. Yeah, I'm just going to skip time on and I will set a flyer at the end of the session and see if we can eke through. But I think we have just enough pace. I'm looking forward to playing this game when I'm not quite so tired. Yeah, that was a better line. The track definitely feels faster, I can already say that, because the car is gripping in a way that it hasn't before. Someone on an outlap ahead of me, which I always hate. Oh god, they're all on outlaps. You bastards. Good to see the AI is still broken. I mean, he did move out of the way, but only after he ballsed my lap up. So it looks like I'm probably going to have to put 2 laps on these tyres, which is not something I really wanted to do. Unless this turns out to be a miracle lap, which it doesn't feel like. Now I've got another car in my way that won't move. Yep. That's the best I'm going to get because he's just not going to get out of my way.
We won't progress to the shootout. Give it your best shot.
That's fine. I can handle being out in Q2. I can handle that. So, yeah, just a short one today. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. Anyone who's dropped in, I saw one or two of you pop in and out over the course of the hour. I will be live most of the day tomorrow, where we'll be doing some more of this, and we'll be doing some career mode. The race will be tomorrow as well, because I'm too tired to do it now, but thank you so much. I'm pathetically grateful for everyone who stopped by. Have yourselves a lovely evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.